As an adult, I recognize that I have blundered on occasion. However, the act of blundering itself isn't particularly bothersome to me, since we're fallible humans and are inevitably going to make mistakes. It would have been helpful if someone had pointed me in the right direction. To that end, I share this video in the hopes that it will prompt some viewer to reevaluate the way they are spending their time and energy. Here, you'll find advice that you can actually use. I share my thoughts on the highs and lows of life as well as the valuable lessons to be learned from all of these occurrences. So please do like and share this video with a friend or two and subscribe to join me on this YouTube journey. The time for talk has ended. Let's get down to business. If you aren't from a privileged background, you might feel like life has dealt you a bad hand at the start. But you should remember that things can and will improve. Once upon a time, I had a friend who always seemed to have everything figured out. At 16, he had his own car, a stable part-time job, and a sizable allowance. All while the rest of us got, well, little or nothing. Though it took me a long time, I finally realized that everything turns out okay in the end. Life unfolds as it is meant to, we adapt, and eventually we all find our places in it. The more I complained about my life, the more I realized it was a waste of time. Get a second job instead of sitting around moaning about how your life isn't as good as others, and how much you need the extra money. Learn something new, read motivational books, etc. If you want a life as good as everyone else who seems to have it all, you need to do whatever it takes to make tomorrow better than yesterday. Second, the YOLO mantra has become increasingly popular. You only live once. That we only get one shot at life and should therefore seize every opportunity to do so is a universally held belief. Although this is generally correct, it is often overstated. As a result of internalizing the YOLO mantra, many young people today are squandering their youth in destructive ways, such as binge drinking, clubbing, and other risky behaviors. But what many of them don't realize is that the best reward you can learn is maybe just a cool nickname, popularity, or something like that. You don't realize how badly you messed up your friendships until you're in your late 20s and still single. Live life to the fullest, as Eleanor Roosevelt put it. Just dive in and enjoy the ride. Pour some wine, sprinkle on some fun, and make the most of your life. Thirdly, some people have the good fortune to have formed friendships that have endured for many years. I'm referring to the friends you've had since you were a kid. Most young people will squander their time on superficial friendships, so count yourself among the lucky few if you have friends like these. Nonetheless, there is a silver lining. Even if these friendships don't lead anywhere, the lessons and social skills you gain from establishing and maintaining them are invaluable, just as they would be in any other type of relationship. Friendship is about helping each other out and being each other's best assets. However, the worst mistake is having a bad friend who prevents you from taking advantage of wonderful opportunities and guides you astray. 4. Love. It's a wonderful feeling, love. Yet most of us, especially when we're young, fall for such ploys and see our relationships as a game. We have a tendency to act irrationally, fall in love too easily, and be attracted to the wrong types of people for the wrong reasons. It's like passing up a promotion at work to stay with a person you know is going to break your heart. Respect and patience are called for when dealing with love. 5th, consider the opinions of those around you. What do you think of this piece of advice? Pay attention to what they have to say, but only implement the suggestions you find useful. People often utter sage advice that they themselves would never follow. Perhaps even unintentionally steer you wrong. Their criticism could cause you to second-guess yourself and prevent you from taking actions that would have helped you in the long run. And you may come to regret their advice in the future. It's trickier than you might think to keep your next move under wraps. 6th, money, because it is the foundation upon which our society rests. And in my opinion, money is the third most important thing in life, right after health and spirituality. The reward is shared amongst us all, but each of us has to earn it. It's used in trade, and it's essential to everyone's well-being and the planet's economy. Due to this, monetary value is of paramount importance, and anyone who tells you otherwise is dishonest. So, while you're young and have the time, educate yourself as much as possible about personal finance. If you're still in your 20s, it's crucial that you learn as much as possible about saving and investing by reading books and enrolling in courses. It's possible that this will yield significant benefits down the road. As for number 7, procrastination, it's like having a friend who you know is trouble, but you still hang out with anyway. In the eyes of the generations following the millennium, millennials, Gen Zers, Gen Zers, etc., procrastination is the embodiment of evil itself. This is the most procrastination-plagued generation in history. Everyone acts as if they are endowed with infinite free time and can get to work whenever they please. Time, however, is a resource that we have very little of. When you're old and frail, you can't do nearly as much as you once could. There will be opportunities you passed up that you will come to deeply regret. It's easy to put things off, but doing so leaves you with regrets. If you're ambitious, you should take advantage of your youth by making the most of your skills, learning as much as possible, and investing in your future. Most people, however, lack such insight and instead use this time to hedonistically indulge in activities like drinking, fornicating, traveling, and sightseeing rather than resolving to make any progress toward a better life. The best part of your life disappears like a puff of smoke. Ask any successful person and they will tell you how important it is to make the most of your youth by investing in something that will bring rewards for years to come. 8th, take care of your health. It's money. According to Mahatma Gandhi, the true measure of wealth is not material possessions, but rather good health, regardless of how old or young they may be. You are what you eat, how you spend your time, and what you put into your body. But many of us don't realize the importance of these things until it's too late. For some reason, today's youth generally disregards all dietary and exercise recommendations. Many young people today have the unrealistic expectation that adulthood will bring them the opportunity to make all their problems go away. They are, however, completely incorrect in this regard. One day at the doctor's office, you'll kick yourself for not eating more vegetables when you were younger. Because, as you age, you won't have as much time to work off the bad weight you gain from eating fast food. Listen up. If you want to feel better and perform better in life, you need to start taking care of your body. 9. The pressure to look a certain way, dress a certain way, and talk a certain way is exponentially compounded in you. Peer pressure from society, friends, and sometimes family forces them to do some crazy stuff to fit in with the world. They have spent more time painting in their heads than making practical purchases. They are rather low income, spending what little money they have trying to appear wealthy by dressing extravagantly and renting luxury vehicles beyond their means. To make matters even worse, many people's terrible habit persists into adulthood. The great thing about coming to terms with yourself is that you won't have to go out of your way to be a people pleaser, and you'll instead be able to live your life with a more conscious mindset, learning the value of things like saving and investing before trying to appear wealthy. Those who did this to themselves will always be angry at themselves for squandering their youth and resources. Don't be one of those guys who always seems to be dressed to the nines but has no money. The irony is that the wealthy don't really put much stock in maintaining the appearance of wealth. If they are wearing something that makes them feel good and, ideally, looks good, they are ready to proceed. A good education is the 10th and final ingredient for a fulfilling life. There are, however, some students who believe they are being punished at school, and whose sense of privacy has been breached in some way. And they generally loathe the idea of spending their time inside a classroom. When they're older and the chance is no longer available, they'll realize how big of a deal they missed out on. An education consists of more than just getting a diploma. It also includes learning the skills you need to function effectively in everyday life. While it is true that schools are meant to keep students' minds active and producing new knowledge, they also serve an important pedagogical purpose by teaching students fundamentals of living that are rarely acquired elsewhere. People who quit school as teenagers frequently feel guilty about their decision and have a hard time fitting in with others. Okay, that's all the news I can give you right now. I really hope you found this video entertaining. If you like this video, please subscribe and turn on notifications if you haven't already. YouTube's algorithm until we meet again. Enjoy your day.